Because of the obvious threat to untold numbers of citizens, and because of the crisis which is even now developing, this radio station will remain on the air day and night.
Officials and newsmen at first discounted those eyewitness descriptions as being beyond belief. However, the reports persisted.
Listen to them. Children of the night. What music they make.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to Boogeyman Radio. I'm Dave.
I'm Charles.
And we did have a short technical issue there for a minute, but we got it resolved.
Yeah, we got it figured out.
So, yeah.
Thank goodness.
Tonight we are going to be talking a little bit about Vikings in America. It's kind of a odd subject matter, I guess, for a paranormal show. It's more of a history type thing, but it's a controversial history. So I think that's kind of fitting with the conspiracy stuff, right?
Oh, I'm totally cool with it. This has been this is a really neat subject, I think.
Yeah. Before we get into it, our reaction channel is now monetized, so we're going to be doing a lot more on that channel now.
Yes.
Finally.
Exciting news. Yeah, I'm so excited. I can't wait.
We're going to be doing a broadcast. We're going to go live Monday night. Going to be going live Monday night, and also, of course, tonight after the After Dark, we'll be going live on Twitch.
Yeah. Doing
our watch party for The Boys, episode 3, season 3, episode 3. So I'm pretty excited.
We're having 2 watch parties tonight, technically.
Kind of, yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Tonight after this show on our Patreon, and just for our patrons, they're going to get to see a new episode of Haunting History that is not going to air anywhere else except for Patreon, and then eventually on a particular streaming site.
Yes. Hi, Denise.
Hello, Denise.
I'm so excited. It's going to be good. It's going to be fun. I can't wait to see the episode. God.
Yeah. I think it turned out really good. I stayed up 2 nights in a row just like booking it on finishing that up.
Better not be crap. No, I'm kidding.
Better not be what? Crap?
better not be crap.
You never know.
Yeah, you never know. But first off, how was your week?
Sucks.
Oh.
Outside of the show and the YouTube channel thing, got poison ivy again.
Yay!
And then my air conditioner went out.
Ooh.
My car had a flat tire.
Ooh.
So I had to spend money on getting some tires, and then I'm trying to fix my air conditioner, but it ain't working. So I'm gonna have to figure something out with that. I'm running fans right now. Pisses me off. I hate the heat.
Same.
So
that sucks.
That can go itself.
Of course.
And then, like I said, I got the poison ivy, which sucked. But outside of that, I've been just working on getting a lot of stuff done. Came up with a new system, got my crap organized. So I have I've set up goals for each day, what I want to get done, and I do them. And it's worked out really well. So
good.
Yeah. Pretty happy about that aspect. But how about you?
Man, it's been a good week. Let's see here. Gosh, okay, so I was off Thursday. I went to the Chiefs game last Thursday. That was a lot of fun. I got to see the Chiefs and the Green Bay Packers play.
Yeah.
It was preseason, so obviously it doesn't matter. Didn't get to watch the people that I wanted to watch because they didn't want to play them, which I completely understand.
All right.
Trying to think what else. But it was still a great game. Went back to work. So it's I worked 3 days this week. It was nice. It was a good week. So it was nice. And then let's see, I was off Saturday, went to a family reunion, which was great. And then I went to Belton, Missouri, this town not too far from where I'm living.
Yeah.
Had their 150th Sexwahana. I don't know how to say it.
Sex party?
No, Ses. I don't know how to freaking Ses. S-E-S. Ses. Anyways, they
Isn't
had
that
their
what they
150th celebration. So
I was gonna say, isn't that what people say instead of saying sex on social media? They say like "ses" or something
no,
like that.
that's sus. Anyways, no. Anyway, we
Sus would be
went to
sus.
that, and then my cousin played it. Him and his band, the Middle Creek Opry, or Middle Creek Band, I should say. They played, and then after that, live performance from Tate Stevens, which was really nice. It was a great
Oh, yeah.
concert. I've never really heard his stuff before, but man, he killed it. He killed it. Thanks, Cassie.
Comment of the year.
All right there. That's like that. Straight
You guys
up.
take notes. Take notes from this. Everybody else, this is how you comment, and we're gonna be grading you guys at the end of the year.
Handsome dudes alert.
Yeah,
So
just
far,
saying.
Cassie's got the top comment so far. Just saying. All right. Yeah, but it was, other than that, it was great. I didn't get to go to the concert because the concert was pretty much like it's an outdoor venue, and it stormed and it rained. So yeah, no, was not going to the concert. That's horrible. So passed on that.
Were you able to get your money back?
No, but it's okay. I'm not worried about it. I'm really not worried about it.
I'd be getting my money back.
I can't. There's no.
Well, now, no, you can't. But
Yeah, there's no getting your money back. It's the concert
But did
was
they
rain
go
or
through?
shine.
did they go
Yeah.
through? Damn,
Yeah, they still put the concert on even though the storms rolled through, and I was just like, nope,
not gonna risk it.
I'm not gonna sit in an outdoor venue to watch a band for an hour. So
Well,
the band that I
multiple
cared about.
bands.
Well, yeah, but the band that I cared about seeing was only played for an hour.
And I bet they played after the storm.
That would have sucked. Or they played right after the storm. Yeah, so I just said screw it, whatever. I wasn't too upset about it. I'm really not upset about it. It's just money. So
Yeah.
I try not to hold like money comes and goes, whatever. So yeah, but other than that, I had a nice relaxing day today. Had lunch with my sister. Got my motorcycle into the shop, so it's being worked on right now. Just get it ready to go for September to do some serious riding, hopefully.
Yeah,
Ready for
where are you
that?
riding to?
Well, the first place I'll probably be riding to, if the weather's good, will be Lexington, Missouri for the Fall into the Supernatural.
Boom,
Which will
boom.
be great. Can't wait for that one. And then, depending on the weather, if it's too cold or not, might ride it down to Joplin, but we'll see.
Yeah. And what's going on in Joplin?
Joplin is your paranormal conference, Haunting History Paracon, October 7th and 8th at the Elks Lodge. And there's going to be some amazing speakers there, and I can't wait to see them.
I think people are catching on to who Katie Stafford is now because of his new show, Ghost of Devil's Work.
Yes.
Because
Well,
now
that helps.
I've mentioned it to people, and they're like, "Oh, I've seen that
Katie?
show. It's a really
Okay.
good show. Cool."
I need to actually watch it. Dang it! They're doing a special on devices. I think.
Yeah.
Or they were. I need to
They are.
check that out too, because there's a couple devices that they had on sale, and I was like, "What does that even do?" Got to watch the show to figure out what it does. So.
Yeah, they've got some good stuff going on. Katie and Katie, they'll both be at the conference. Speaking of which, I'm gonna roll that beautiful bean footage. Yeah, there we go. So, sad news. Josh Hurd will not be performing at the Paracon. I guess they got something booked at Malvern, so he's got to do that. I'm assuming. Yeah. So the concert will just be Randall Shreve. So, 4 hours of Randall is not a bad thing.
Just break it up into sets. It'll be okay.
Yeah, it'll be fine. Plus, there's gonna be alcohol, so
good times, even better.
Yeah.
Is Jessica doing live readings?
Jessica's gonna be doing a gallery reading on Friday night. Gallery
reading. Okay, cool.
Yes, Friday night. But the Route 66 Theater investigation will also be on Saturday night. There's limited tickets. It goes from 10:30 to 3 a.m. There's a total of 12 tickets. There's already been, I haven't checked in over a week.
Wait, 10:30 or 10 p.m.?
Or 10 to 3.
Gotcha.
10 p.m. to 3 a.m. I haven't checked out if any tickets have sold, but like last I saw, there was like 10 tickets left. But those tickets are, I think, $70 or $75 a person. This is a place that I've had many experiences in here, some one-of-a-kind experiences. It's a really cool place. It's worth checking out. They are also sponsoring the event, so definitely check them out.
Absolutely. And yeah, absolutely, she's pretty awesome, Denise. We've had
and of course, we'll have Spurrier. It's going to be a good time. Also, the PRI is going to have an announcement. Pretty big announcement, if I say so myself, which I did just say so myself.
Well, you didn't say what it was, but you
said pretty big if I say so myself.
Essentially, it's going to be a pretty big announcement.
It's a pretty important announcement, I think.
Good.
Yeah. They just found out about something. They told
cool.
me. They told me what it was. I'm not telling anybody what it is.
Well, you don't want to ruin the fun, so.
Yeah, and it's not my news. So.
Don't do it. Don't do it, Dave.
Yeah, no doubt. Again, also, if you're not a member of our Patreon, now's probably a good time. Join our Patreon. Tonight we are going to be watching a new episode of Haunting History. And, in fact, here's a little teaser. This is the largest place we have ever investigated. What started as a tuberculosis sanatorium grew over 100 years into a modern hospital. Since its closure, the spirits of its past are said to linger and their voices resonate from within these walls. With less than a handful of investigations having been done here, we will be one of the few teams to explore the massive complex and the first to film inside. Although we were given permission to film, we cannot disclose the location, so we will call it the Abandoned Hospital.
It's massive.
That's just a little teaser of what you'll be watching tonight on Patreon. What's up?
Oh, I had a bunch of, sorry, I don't know. Oh, no. Dang it. Okay.
What'd you do?
I had a bunch of web pages pulled up for Viking stuff, and it's just gone.
Oh, no.
Because Chrome hates me.
That's why you bookmark them.
Yeah. Well, hold on. It'll be easy. Quick searches.
Da. All right. So let's get into tonight's topic.
Let's do it. Yep.
All right. So a lot of people, growing up, going to school, you're taught that Christopher Columbus sailed the ocean blue in 1492, and he discovered the Americas.
Wrong.
For a long time, people believe that, and yes, that seems to not be the case. In fact, there were people here, besides Native Americans, there were people here before Columbus, even about 400 years before Columbus.
Almost 500. It's crazy.
Yeah. And we're going to talk about that a little bit tonight.
Yep.
We'll talk about the players who could have been here, who could have established what are some of the signs Have you got your stuff there, Johnny Boy?
Kind of. We're getting there. Just making sure I got everything.
All right.
Keep talking though.
All right, keep talking. All right, I'll just go ahead and start off with some of the players here. Or no. Let's start off with some of the signs of potential inhabitants. One of the first mysteries that kind of popped up was the Kensington Runestone. If you're not familiar with this is something that was discovered in Minnesota, but people are having a hard time believing it to be real. And then there's people that are saying, well, some people say it's a hoax, some people say it's real. So the Kensington Runestone is a gravestone-sized slab of hard gray sandstone called Grey Walk, in which Scandinavian runes are cut. And runes are basically like alphabetical letters or symbols for language. It stands on display in Alexandria, Minnesota, as either a unique record of Norse exploration of North America or of Minnesota's most brilliant and durable hoaxes. Minnesotan historian Theodore Blegen wrote in 1968 that few questions in American history have stirred so much curiosity or provoked such extended discussions as the Kensington Runestone. There are two uncontested facts. Fact number one: Swedish immigrant Olof Oman came to Douglas County, Minnesota in 1879, and while clearing his land for his farm near Kensington in the fall of 1898, he turned up a slab of rock with symbols carved on the side and underside. These markings were later identified as Scandinavian runic writing. The generally accepted translation of those runes reads, "We are 8 Goths, or Swedes, and 22 Norwegians on an exploration journey from Vinland through the west. We had a camp by a lake with 2 skerries, or small rocky islands, 1 day's journey north from this stone. We were out and fished 1 day. After we came home, we found 10 of our men red with blood and dead. AVM, which is Ave Virgo Maria, or Hail Virgin Mary. Save us from evil." Then it says...
So they were Christian Vikings?
Well, that's actually Roman.
Oh,
The Ave Virgo Maria is actually Roman.
Catholics.
Right. And then it says, "We have 10 of our party by the sea to look after our ships. 14 days' journey from this island. Year 1362. If the inscription is genuine, it places Norse seafarers deep in North America 130 years before Columbus reached the West Indies, and tells a story otherwise unknown. The details of the stone's geology, discovery, carving, and weathering, and the personality, education, writings, and possessions of its finder have been dissected, analyzed, and debated for more than a century. There are 4 main controversies over the stone's authenticity. The first controversy centers on the plausibility of the story for the party's ship to lie 14 days' journey from Alexandria. The only possible route is south from Hudson's Bay. That distance is nearly 800 miles by direct line, longer by river and portage. Distance difficult to manage in 14 days. The route is through the west from a Vinland, whose location in 1362, if any, is unknown. So there's that. But it did say they came from Vinland. So maybe Vinland was somewhere in between in that 800 mile distance.
Well, gosh darn it, where was Vinland? Give me a second here. I actually have a
I don't think this map shows the Vinland. No, it doesn't. We'll get into that map later.
Yep, sounds good.
Um,
That's still pretty cool, though.
So, yeah, no other record of this expedition has been found. So why would explorers who had just suffered a massacre stop to carve in well-crafted, even, and orderly characters a stone inscription?
Mm-hmm.
So let's answer these questions here. Why do you think they would stop to carve it?
To leave their footing just in case they died too?
That's what I would think. And so what if it's well crafted? I mean, the craftsmanship back then was actually pretty damn good.
Yeah.
So, I mean...
It'd leave a marker.
It's still like a toss-up, right?
Yeah.
The writing and language of the text are questionable. Experts first analyzed the runic writings in 1899. They dismissed it as fake, citing too many discrepancies in form and vocabulary from the known languages of 14th century Scandinavia. Most experts since then have agreed. The condition of the rock has also raised doubts. Though Greywalkie is a hard sandstone, it has been exposed to wind and rain for hundreds of years, as it is supposed, and the inscribed areas would show telltale weathering, whose age could be estimated. A 2003 analysis conducted by Scott F. Walter concluded that the inscriptions were more than 200 years old. This remains highly contested. And finally, nobody knows who was responsible. If it was a hoax, if the inscription is a fake, it must have been done by someone with knowledge of old Scandinavian language and runes, the ability to carve in stone, and the nerve to carry out the prank. The most likely perpetrator was Olaf Oman, but he had little education. But he did own a small library that included information about runes. His friend, former pastor Sven Fogelblad, may have also had knowledge of runes, and may have sought to try to fool academics. I guess it was rumored that both men reportedly disliked academia, but Oman never admitted to a hoax. So, and the slab has been examined in Europe and displays at the Smithsonian Institution, and it was also on display at the 1965 New York World's Fair. So, as far as the stone goes, half of it was buried, was face down in the ground. So, weathering's not going to do anything to it, I don't think.
No, not at all. It's going to be perfectly preserved.
Yeah. I was going to try to get this picture of it, but it's going to be a small picture. Now, there was said to be another stone that was found not too far from there, not too long ago either. And let me pull this up. So this was back in 2001. A team of Minnesotans who believe the famous Kensington runestone is authentic has found a second carved rock, which they say might have marked the gravesite of Viking explorers in the 1300s.
Nice.
Yeah. Janie Weston, a member of the 7-person Kensington runestone scientific testing team, said she noticed a faint inscription on a boulder in May and said to herself, "Oh my gosh, that stone, it has writing on it." Because the stone bears the Latin letters AVM, perhaps for the Ave Maria, like the other stone. Hang on a second. Yikes. The team says that the stone is new evidence to help prove the legitimacy of the Kensington runestone. However, it does little to persuade scientists and historians who believe that the inscription on the first runestone is fraudulent. Basically, they went through. They've had a certain number of people, like a small number of people, actually look at this stone. The stone, nobody knows. No, I don't want to say nobody. The stone is being kept in a secure and secret place. Um, they spent some time digging around that stone. They dug 25, or on July 25th, they dug 9 testing holes. And they dug from anywhere from 1 foot to almost 3 feet deep to test to see if there was any kind of like signs of Bronze Age remnants. The team members hoped they were hoping to find human activity from that age. They did not. They did find 2 quartz flakes, probably chipped from arrowheads, and evidence of Indian inhabitation, but no clues of early Norsemen. And then Weston had spotted the 43-inch long rock on an island about a quarter mile from where the runestone was found in 1498. So it's been an unsolved mystery, basically, ever since.
Yeah.
And now there's been other signs. There's been.
Oh yeah.
There was not too long ago a stone that was found. I want to say on the east coast of like Rhode Island, Connecticut, Maryland, somewhere around the New England area. They found this gigantic boulder, but it's got these runes carved into them. Not like a bunch of them, but like just a few symbols. They believed that it was a marking for like when ships would come to that beach. That's the rock they would look for to dock their ships. So
crazy
interesting stuff. And then if you look at like Curse of Oak Island, there's use of runes there too. There's some rune stones that were there, but those were also thought to be carved by the Knights Templar.
Yeah, because you have symbols and runes and stuff.
Yeah, similar.
All right. So, you want to know what Vinland is?
No, what?
Vinland?
Sure.
Or Vineland, or Winland.
Yeah.
So, it was an area of coastal North America explored by Vikings. Leif Erikson landed there around 10,000 AD. It's actually 10,021. It's literally like 1,000 years ago from last year. Crazy enough.
It's located right here on the bottom of this map.
I want to see this too. Ah, right there. Perfect. Yeah.
Newfoundland.
So, yep, Newfoundland. So, go back to where I was at. Okay. The name appears in the Vinland Saga and describes Newfoundland and the Gulf of St. Lawrence as far as northeastern New Brunswick. Much of the geographical content of the sagas corresponds to present-day knowledge of transatlantic travel and North America. In 1960, archaeological evidence of the only known Norse site in North America, Ansau Meadows, was found on the northern tip of the island of Newfoundland. Before the discovery of archaeological evidence, Vinland was known only from the sagas and medieval historiography. The 1960 discovery further proved the pre-Columbian Norse exploration of mainland of North America. Ansau Meadows has been hypothesized to be the camp of Stromford, mentioned in the saga of Eric the Red. So, Leif Erikson and Eric the Red are tied to the ones that basically found America first. It's crazy.
Now, it was said that Eric the Red actually was supposed to be going to Greenland, right?
Yeah.
And overshot.
Yep.
And wound up on the coast of the Americas.
Yeah, actually, I've got it pulled up right here.
Okay.
So
you can go ahead and go into that.
Yeah, Leif Erikson accidentally, it was in the Eric the Red, Leif Erikson accidentally discovered the new land when traveling to Norway from Norway back to Greenland after a visit to his overlord, King Olaf I'm going to butcher the name, so I'm not even going to attempt it, who commissioned him to spread Christianity in the colony. Returning to Greenland, so it was Christianity, with samples of grapes and currants, wheat and timber, he rescued the survivors from a shipwreck and gained a good reputation for good luck. His religious mission was a swift success. The next spring, Thorstein Leif's brother led an expedition to the new land, but drifted off course and spent the whole summer sailing the Atlantic. On his return, he met and married Gudrid, one of the survivors from a ship which made land at Herjolfsnes. Yep. After a difficult voyage from Iceland, spending the winter as a guest at a farm on Greenland with Gudrid, Thorstein died of disease, reviving just long enough to make a prophecy about her future as a far-traveling Christian. Next winter, Gudrid married a visiting Icelander named Thorfinn Karlsveen, who, with his business partner Soren Thorbrandsson, good gracious, I'm trying to see what else this has to do. They sailed past landscape, flat stones, Helluland, and Forest Markland. They rounded the cape, where they saw a keel of boats, then passed the extraordinary long beaches before they landed and sent out 2 runners to explore inland. After 3 days, the pair returned with samples of grapes and currants and wheat. After they sailed a little further, the expedition landed at an inlet next to the area of strong currents. With an island just off the shore, Stromsey, and made camp. The winter months were harsh, food was short supply, and one day an old family servant, Thorhall the hunter, went missing and was found mumbling to himself. Shortly after, a beached whale was found, which Thorhall claimed had been provided in answer to the praise of the pagan gods. The explorers found that eating it made them ill, so they prayed to the Christian god, and shortly after, the weather improved. Fine enough. Let's see here, what else we got? Goes on to talk a little bit more about Vinland, but yeah, let me make sure, because I can skip a bunch of this.
Well, let me just say this real quick. When they did settle Greenland, they flourished for quite a few years. Oh
yeah, absolutely.
But all of a sudden, like nothing.
Yep.
was going on. In fact, the Vatican was aware of Ericsson being at the in Greenland, and apparently in 1492, where is it? I just had it. In 1492, there it is. The Vatican noted that no news from that country, which they called at the end of the world, had been received for 80 years. So I guess 1412 was the last time that they heard from anybody from Greenland. And the bishopric of the colony was offered to a certain a traveler to see if he would go and restore Christianity there. The guy didn't go. So
makes sense.
So yeah, for 80 years after the last known inhabitants of Greenland, which would have been the Norse, 80 years, nothing's there. It's not like they would have. I don't think they would have just traveled back to Europe, especially since they already knew of this new land. I mean, that gives them a lot of time to explore.
Yeah, you'd think.
Yeah. I've got another location thing. If you're not, if you don't
have more. No, I do, but go ahead.
Okay, so let me see if I can find an image of this. Good size image. That's not a good size image. That's a decent one. All right, save. We upload this image here. This place I've always been curious about and wanted to just go see it because of its odd nature. This is in Rhode Island. This is the Newport Tower. It's also known as the Old Stone Mill. It's a round stone tower located at Turo Park in Newport, Rhode Island. It's the remains of a windmill built in the mid 17th century. It has received attention due to the speculation that it is actually several centuries older and would thus represent evidence of pre-Columbian transoceanic contact. But carbon dating shows this belief to be incorrect. In 1837, Danish archaeologist Carl Christian Rafn proposed a Viking origin for the tower, partially based on his research of the Inquisitions on the Dighton Rock near the mouth of the Taunton River, which is another slab of stone that has these runes on it. The hypothesis is predicated on... bug. Got a gnat flying around here. The hypothesis is predicated on the uncertainty of the southward extent of the early Norse explorations of North America, particularly in regard to the actual location of Vinland. This guy's popularization of the theory led to a flurry of interest and proofs of Norse settlements in the area. Since then, much means evidence has been shown to be mistaken. His assertion is incorrect that a windmill would not have fireplaces because of fire risk. But there's like a lot of hypotheses as to who built it, even stretching from the Chinese, Portuguese, the medieval Templars, and so on. But this place is it's pretty interesting. And it makes sense, you know, if they hit Vinland or Newfoundland, which is basically an island off of Nova Scotia, they would just travel down. I would think they would travel south along the coast and see how far this stuff goes, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. So I found something very interesting.
Yeah.
So in Memphis, Tennessee, a group of volunteers cleaning up the shore of the Mississippi River near the biggest city in Tennessee have stumbled upon the remains of an ancient boat encrusted in mud.
Huh.
A team of archaeologists from the University of Memphis that was rapidly called to the site confirmed that the ship is most certainly a Viking Nar, suggesting that Norse would have pushed their exploration of America a lot further than historians had previously thought. The heavy damaged ship was found near the confluence of the Wolf and Mississippi rivers and lies on a private property. Nar were naval vessels that were built from the Norsemen from Scandinavia and Iceland for Atlantic voyages, but also used for trade, commerce, exploration, and warfare during an era known as Viking Age. That goes approximately from 793 to 1066 AD. So we'll keep going with that. Hold on. They were clinker built, which means the overlapping of planks riveted together. It was capable of sailing 75 miles in one day and held a crew of about 20 to 30 men. The new discovery could be one of the oldest evidence of pre-Columbian transoceanic contact, and it certainly brings to mind that famous colony of Vinland mentioned in Icelandic saga. This mythical colony would have been established by Leif Erikson around the period of the settlement, which we talked about this, and Ons Meadows in the Canadian province of Newfoundland or Labrador, the most famous site of a Norse or Viking settlement in North America and Greenland. The carbon dating of the new ship estimates that the dates from 990 and 1050 AD. That's right in the window of that 1021. Just saying.
Yeah.
Approximately the period associated with Vinland and the various Canadian sites. Unfortunately, very few other artifacts have yet been found on the site, suggesting the crew must have likely abandoned the ship and continued on foot. Well, if the ship crashes and you can leave, of course you're going to get off and go search wherever else. More searches are to be expected in the area over the next few years, as scientists will now certainly try to look for any artifacts and historical traces it could lead to. And this article was posted come on, give me a date here. November of last year. So there could be more stuff in the future here pretty soon. So yeah, freaking Tennessee. Memphis, Tennessee.
Which doesn't surprise me. I mean, you think if they landed in North America in around 1066 or 1033 or something like that.
Yeah.
Even just in Newfoundland, the explorations over 300, 400 years there, they surely would have traveled south, and surely they would have come across the Great Lakes, right?
You'd think.
Being that they're known for their boating and sailing and stuff, they would traverse those lakes, cross into the U.S., what is now the U.S., and why wouldn't they travel down the Mississippi? You know, it's a major river that's connected to
Mississippi and maybe go across the Muddy.
Yeah. So, and for a point of reference for everybody, if you're wondering what this Lansaw Meadows looks like, this is it. This is the settlement that's in Canada. This is the Viking settlement from 1033 or whatever, 1066, something like that. So the proof of the Norse being in the U.S. or being in the Americas, it's still there. You could go visit it.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's tangible evidence. There's real evidence that this had happened. Yep.
So I'll read off one more thing or another thing. There's a new study published today in the this was when was this article posted? Last year in October. A new study pinpointed the Viking presence in North America to the exact year, which was 1021. We just talked about this. The date now stands the earliest known crossing in the Atlantic, and the researchers note means we're currently living exactly 1,000 years after the migration. I'm trying to think how they carbon dated this. Okay, so Vikings were present in Newfoundland in AD 1021. Our new date lays down a marker for European cognizance of the Americas and Providence, a definitive tie point for future research into the initial consequences and transatlantic activity, such as transference of knowledge and the potential exchange of genetic information, biota, and pathogens. But how did researchers find? This is what I wanted to read. It was like, how did they find this out? This is one of those discoveries where the methodology is just as interesting as the result. It all came down to a massive solar storm that occurred in 992 CE. The sky turned red, and the aurora borealis was seen as far south as Germany, and a distinct radiocarbon signature turned up inside trees across the planet. And then it goes on to more. The distinct uplift in radiocarbon production that occurred between 992 and 993 AD has been detected in tree ring archives from all over the world, said Michael B., director of the research. If they could see this is uplift in wooden artifacts from the Newfoundland archaeological site of Meadows, the author explained, they would have a concrete reference point from which to date the Viking presence. The team located this anomaly 29 rings in from the edge in 3 wooden artifacts known to be Viking due to their location and evidence of being cut with metal. The local indigenous population didn't manufacture metal at that time. That means the trees used for the artifacts were cut down in 1021. The study explains since the ring that contains the 992 AD anomaly has been detected, it simply becomes a matter of counting the number of rings to the wainy, which is bark, edge. 992 plus 29 equals 1021. Finding the signal from the solar storm 29 growth rings in the bark allowed us to conclude that the cutting activity took place in the year 1021. Although discovery establishes that the Vikings had made it to Newfoundland by 1021, evidence so far suggests that they did not settle in the new continent, unlike later colonizers. European explorers at the time were often more interested in quick exploration or exploitation of new lands. and the settlement in Vinland and the Vikings knew North America were most likely transient and short-lived. So that's really, I thought that was really cool that it came down to science for them to really figure out, like they used a really cool like method to figure that out. So
Well,
I wanted to talk about that and share that.
They could have just asked the Native Americans.
Wouldn't the natives probably just killed them?
No, the scientists, like they instead of like having to go through all that, could have just asked Native Americans.
And so something I think about, like, where are the stories in Native American culture of Vikings coming to the land? Because wouldn't they have? You'd think they would have told stories about that, right?
Well, there is evidence that the Norse traded with natives.
Really?
Yeah, the Norse would have encountered both Native Americans, the Bothuk, who were related to Algonquin, and the Thule, the ancestors of the Inuit. The Dorset had withdrawn from Greenland before the Norse settlement of the island. Items such as comb fragments, pieces of iron cooking utensils and chisels, chess pieces, ship's rivets, carpenter's planes, and oak ship fragments used in Inuit boats have been found far beyond the traditional range of Norse colonization. A small ivory statue that appears to represent a European has also been found among the ruins of an Inuit community house. The settlements began to decline in the 14th century, which makes sense because that's about the time that it seems that the Norse started to disappear. Was the 1300s, which would have been the 14th century. The Western settlement was abandoned around 1350, and the last bishop at Garor died in 1377. After a marriage was recorded in 1408, no written records mentioned the settlers. It is probable that the Eastern settlement was defunct by the late 15th century, the Eastern settlement being the Meadows. So yeah, there has been evidence of trading with the local natives.
That's pretty awesome.
And apparently a wedding that was a marriage that was recorded in 1408.
You mean a chief actually let them get married?
Yeah.
Or wait, was it a marriage between Indian and
It doesn't
European?
say. It just says that there was a marriage that was recorded in 1408.
I'm
No
sorry,
written
Native
records
American.
mention. Yeah, no written records mention the settlers, so there's no written record of it.
Yeah.
It's easy.
So
So
I
I
wonder if there's
wonder.
any other tribes that maybe they didn't get along with, and they were just like, "Hey, we hate you," and then they just like I don't know, like maybe creatures of folklore could have been these people.
I would like to.
Vikings.
I would like to have known what, like, if they had anybody that kept any kind of documents, like if they recorded like any kind of what they thought were like supernatural creatures.
Yeah.
You know,
How cool would that have been?
and since they were in contact with the Vatican up till 1412,
Yeah.
if they were in contact with the Vatican about what they were experiencing and stuff, maybe the Vatican has those records. Maybe they have the documentation
And the world will never know.
until we burn the Vatican down.
Okay, good luck with that. Be careful what you say. You burn the
But-
Vatican down, you'll find nothing.
Whatever. You don't think that?
Oh wait,
place-
the vaults are fireproof. Sorry, yeah. The vaults are fireproof.
So, like, imagine just what kind of documents that they would have about Norse expeditions
Yeah.
early on. And now I wonder, like, if we go back into a school, do they even teach this, or do they
Probably
still
not. Dude,
teach
there's
the-
no way they teach about this.
I mean,
I didn't learn about this. They didn't talk about this in my school.
yeah, but I mean, at this point in time, I think it's pretty clear that they were here before Columbus.
Christopher Columbus, yeah.
And like
I
Cassie
agree.
said, Happy Leif Erikson Day. No more
Yep.
Christopher Columbus Day. Why does he get a holiday?
It's
He's
Leif
second place.
Erikson Day. Hung-a-ding-a-durgan. Oh, it's October 9th.
Leif Erikson Day, or
Yeah. Yeah. It's October 9th.
I think we should all get a day off for that.
That's right.
I mean, it makes sense. Why
Significant, celebrating Leif Erikson as the first European to lead a voyage to North America. So yeah, I'm sure it's taught, but as far as like when we say North America, it's like Canada and stuff like that. Like,
yeah, it doesn't mean the States, but
yeah.
But
Well, I think they've like. I'm sorry, there's no way they didn't make it to the States. Vikings were natural explorers. I guarantee somebody came down to the States. Somebody got curious, and they wanted to see what else was out there, and they went south. Guarantee it.
Yeah, they were known for their exploration. I don't think that.
Yeah.
I honestly don't think that. Traveling 75 miles by boat a day is out of the realm of possibility.
No. Well, then eventually, also, if you start to notice, oh, it gets warmer as I go south. Maybe I should keep going south.
Yeah, and who knows? I might have to hit up my friend Talon and see if he knows about any like stories or anything like that about any Viking or Norse contact with Native Americans.
Well, I'm trying to think here. What? Maybe there was some. Maybe not. You know, it's okay. Real quick though, before I get distracted, which I'm already distracted. This thing that you have, the audio you have playing in the background. My first thought was, is the black hole tab opened on my screen somewhere? I was like, oh wait, never mind. Just kidding.
It's actually background ambience.
No, it's good. It's cool. That's how it was, because it literally sounds like freaking hell. Anyways, sounds like Tortured Souls when you listen to it. It's crazy.
That's funny you say that, because the name of that is I think
I know, Tormented Souls. Yeah. I know. That's why I went down to check and see if you were playing audio and it said Tormented Souls, and I'm like, wow, that's exactly what I thought with the black hole. Huh.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, I would love to see it maybe in Native American culture that there were some, like a Wendigo. Is a Wendigo in Native American culture?
I believe that was started as Australian.
Okay, what is there any kind of cryptid or yeah, true. Is there any kind of cryptid or ancient being that has like a deer head or antlers?
Besides the Wendigo?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you can kind of classify skinwalkers there too.
Because if, let's say a Viking had a furs of a skinwalker, of a antler, of a deer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or priests,
and then all of a sudden they changed into a freaking bear. That could be a skinwalker. Well, you know what I mean? Like,
that could be where the legends come from because of the way the Norse dressed.
Yeah, absolutely.
They'd remove the head, and all of a sudden they're a person.
I would love to like that would be something cool to dive into. Is just like maybe some of these like stories and folklore of ancient peoples come from meeting other ancient peoples of cultures they have no idea. Like, for instance, oh gosh, what's a good represent in Star Trek? They've done this multiple times, where there's a colony on some planet that's like some like sticks and rocks, like
I keep thinking
colony. Well, that too. Yeah, there you go. I mean, they show up and then, oh my gosh, you're our gods. Like, praise be. You know what I mean? Like, that you never know. It's just, I think it's interesting to think. I mean, look, you go back and you look at some of our ancient civilizations where it looks like there's a spaceman that was carved into a rock wearing a spacesuit.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's already been fully admitted now that UFOs that we've been tracking are not man-made.
Mm-hmm.
So, what's the deal here? Like, that confirms to me that it's all but alien life of some sort.
Okay, so we have 8 weeks of shows until Halloween. And I thought of a good idea for a topic for
next week we know what we're going to do. We're going to, what was it? Darn it.
I wrote it down in the other building.
Of course. We have the show planned for next week already. There.
What?
We have the next week's show planned already.
Oh yeah. And I just had an idea for another one then, so we're ahead.
Yay!
Well, guys, that's gonna do it for our topic tonight. I know it wasn't an expansive topic or anything, but it was interesting to know that, hey, these people were here.
Well, and like I said, go ahead. Shit.
They settled, they traded, they traveled, and they left their mark.
And you never know. Maybe the Vikings kicked off some ancient folklore from the Native Americans.
I would like
that's
to be
the paranormal aspect.
I'd be interested to know if there are any Norse graveyards here, or maybe they did the whole burial.
Oh, hold on, we can't leave just yet. Cassie brings up something I want to look into. Cahokia.
Back onto Mississippi River. Charlie was talking about. Look up Cahokia. Yeah, I used to live over by Cahokia.
Pre-Columbian Native American city directly across the Mississippi River from modern St. Louis. So maybe they traded with people down there.
And that area is where the Thunderbirds have been sighted.
Well,
Cahokia, Keokuk, Alton, that whole area. A lot of Thunderbirds out that way. In fact, there's a cave painting, or a bluff painting that was discovered a long time ago of a Thunderbird.
All right, hold on. I got to look up what a freaking Thunderbird is. I have no idea what we're talking about.
It's a giant bird.
Well, okay, that helps.
With Native American lore and stuff like that.
Ah. Oh, okay. It's the statues or the poles.
No, that's totem poles.
Well, this picture that they put is Thunderbird is a legendary creature in North American indigenous peoples' history and culture. It is considered a supernatural being of power and strength.
There's another show idea, I guess. We can discuss Thunderbirds and Thunderbird sightings. Because there was a big incident that happened in Illinois where a farmer even actually shot at it.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, and then some people's kids have been picked up by them and stuff like that.
Well, here's something. Thunderbirds. Why do they call them Thunderbirds? It was called Thunderbird because the flapping of its powerful wings sounded like thunder, and lightning was believed to flash from its beak. What does thunder and lightning represent in Norse mythology? Don't think too hard on this. Odin.
Okay. I mean, he represented... Okay.
God of Thunder is actually Thor.
Yeah.
I would love to do that, Cassie. I would totally love to do that. I actually have Viking blood in me. Couldn't tell by looking at me, could you?
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. But I'm just saying, God of Thunder, Thor.
Right on. Yeah, next week we've got, like I said, we got a show planned already, so we'll let you guys know what that is because we can't think of it. I did write it down, so that's a good thing.
Dude, what if a dude dressed in like a bird outfit, like, just like showed up out of nowhere, and that's what the Native Americans called Thunderbird?
I doubt it, but
I doubt it too. But it'd be funny. Anyways.
All right, guys, we're gonna cut out of here. If you're not on Patreon, jump on Patreon. You get to see the new episode of Haunting History. Burping here. New episode of Haunting History that we're going to be showing over there. Anything you want to add there, Charles?
Nah, I'm set.
And if you're on Twitch later tonight at 10, look for Two Drunk Fucks. That's the number 2 drunk, and FUX for fucks. Find us on
Clever.
Twitch. We're going to be doing a live stream watch party, watching the season 3, episode 3 of The Boys. Oh, diggity. Let's get out of here. Yeah.
Yeah, let's get it.
All right. Thanks for joining us, guys. We'll see you next week.